Hi ladies. I'm just creating this YouTube video so that maybe I can maximize my time a little bit and help some of you new ladies out that need some help getting your business off to a really great start. I'm excited to help you and am willing to have you call anytime or text or email your specific questions, but this will maybe answer some questions that all of the ladies have when they first get started. So I'm going to be looking down a little bit, making sure I don't forget anything, so just bear with me. First thing I would say when you get started with your business is to kind of familiarize yourself with the JJ portal. That is the website where you can go to order your jewelry. So one of the things I would suggest is just to explore. Maybe do like a little scavenger hunt. Go in and just look around. One of the things, the tabs that is really awesome is at the very top there is a Consultant Resources tab. And if you click on that tab, there are lots and lots of other tabs underneath that that provide tons of resources, e-flyers and videos and just lots and lots of information, tutorials that you can use to help you with your business. A lot of things are updated over time, so you may find some new things, and under that there may be some old things, so just kind of pick and choose for what fits for your business. Another thing that you'll see on the site, and there is a video tutorial for that, is Email Blaster, and that's a way to set up your customers on an email database. I personally have had a little bit of problem with that particular email program. You're welcome to use that, but I might recommend that you start storing your emails in a home or another system. I use MailChimp is one that I use, and then I use my email program on my Mac computer. So, but I would recommend, highly recommend, that you start an email database of your customers right away from the beginning. Another thing, I'm sorry, I kind of skipped around. When you're on that consultant portal, there are incentive trackers. Over on the left-hand side, there is an incentive tracker for the Jumpstart program. And I guess it's still on the left. I haven't seen it on the new consultant page lately, but it is an awesome way for you to track and stay excited about reaching the Jumpstart. That's something, a document that I will send out to you right in the beginning. But it's a great, great way to get your business off to an amazing start. And basically for that, you do $1,200 in wholesale the first month in business, and then then you get recognition from the company and from me, and also a really great Just Jewelry bag. Then your second month in business, you do another $1,200 and recruit one team member, and you get another JJ bag and more recognition. Your third month, if you do the Jumpstart program, it's another $1,200 and a new team member, and you get recognition again, plus you get a really awesome jewelry bag to carry all your jewelry to parties. And then what's really cool is if you do all 3 months, you get an additional 1,000 points towards the trip incentive, and the trip is amazing. I will be going on my first one this January with Just Jewelry, and I'm so excited about that. So that's something to work for as well. There's also a trip incentive tracker on the website where you can keep track of your points towards the trip. So use those trackers. It's kind of motivating to watch those go up. You can also see your volume, your personal volume, and your team volume over on the left. PV stands for personal volume, TV stands for team volume, and then you can see your first line, second line as you start to build a team. There's also a video on there typically, and then underneath that video are some announcements. You can also see over on the left if there are products that are out of stock and what their expected restock date is. So just explore around that site, kind of get familiar with it so you know what's there, and that'll really help your business. Okay, when your jewelry first comes in, I am more than happy to help you with your first jewelry order if you need my help with that. But when you do get your first order of jewelry in, you need to make sure that you really open everything up, check it out very carefully, make sure there's no stones missing, nothing broken, check your clasps. You want it all out of that plastic. You don't want to keep it in the plastic and the bubble wrap. And then for store, if there is anything that is broken, just hang on to it. As long as you return it within a month, the company will send you a brand new piece. So I always just a suggestion. I print out the sheets that they have under consultant resources for returning the jewelry, and then I make some copies of that just to have them on hand. And if I have something that comes in that's broken, I might just put it on the sheet, wait until my 30 days is up, see if anything else would happen to come back from a customer, and then I can ship them at the same time, save a little bit on postage. So not a big deal. That's tax deductible. I don't think much about the postage because it is a tax deduction, and it's pretty minimal, just an expense of doing business. So let's see. Oh, consultants ask a lot, how do you transport your jewelry? Well, that jewelry kit that you get in your third month of business is an awesome way to do it, but you can also use like 31 bags as a suggestion, or some type of a suitcase, and just put some like Rubbermaid type containers, and you can layer the bubble wrap that comes with your orders in between your jewelry. Just one suggestion. There are different ways to do it, but those Rubbermaid type containers will fit right down into a 31 bag and are a really nice way to carry the jewelry, and then you can put in tablecloths or anything else in around that, your neck displays. People a lot of times ask about neck displays too, and I have one here that's an example. This is just a really, really inexpensive one. I can't seem to get it in front of the camera, and you can see it just has a little stand and back. There are ones that are more expensive. This is not one that I've gotten through JJ. You can get them from the company with a JJ logo, but you can also get them through a company like, for example, online, like Nile Corp, Nile -CORP, I believe it is, or nilecorp.com, I think it is. But I've gotten them at Michael's. Actually, this one I think was 30% off. I think it might have been less than $2 or $3, and then I got 30% off of that. So it was really inexpensive. They had the smaller ones too. They have ring displays, all kinds of different things at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I just pick those up from different places as I find them. But let's see. Business cards, that's something you'll want to do after you get a Just Jewelry email. When you get your email address, what I would suggest, there are business cards on the company website, and they are really nice. And if you want to invest in those, that's great. They're pre-designed for you, but if you need to save a little money, Vistaprint is a place you can go and get 250 business cards free. And then that you can also get stamps to stamp the backs of your catalogs, or the tops of your sales tickets. You can get a banner if you decide to do events and you want a banner. You can get all sorts of things from Vistaprint, and they have a cute little jewelry logo that you can find and use, or you can use something else more generic. Credit cards. A lot of people want to know, how do I accept credit cards? Well, I would suggest you sign up with a company like SquareUp.com or PayAnywhere.com. They will send you a swiper for your phone or your iPad for free. You don't have to pay for those. You just pay the fee, which is around 2 or 3% that comes off of the purchases that customers do. You can also have people make payment through PayPal. If you set up a PayPal account, you can have people send payments by check. There's just a lot of different ways you can manage that. Another thing I highly recommend is that you set up a Just Jewelry Facebook page right away and begin promoting it to get likes. You want to keep your Just Jewelry page as personal as possible, because the goal is to create engagement, to get people to like and comment on your posts. It's a little tricky at first until you get a lot of likes, so you've got to be patient and just really work on getting lots of friends and family in the beginning to like your page. And just, I don't know what I've done. Maybe I've gone on different sites and gotten involved in networking groups and different things to get people to like. But the more likes you get, the more chance of engagement you have. When you get a certain number of likes too, you can also promote in Facebook and pay little bits of advertising to promote a post or to promote an ad, and that might be something you want to do at some point. But just make it really personal. Ask questions. You can tell things about your life, put things up that just makes people want to click like or makes people want to comment. You can do giveaways too and promotions, but those are things you might want to wait until you get a decent amount of people on your page before you do too much of that, because the goal is to create more likes and to get people to share and things. So Pinterest and Instagram are other good forms of social media that you might want to set up an actual business page and begin promoting your business through those avenues. Probably the very best thing you can do to get off to a great start, and I wouldn't wait long. I would do it while you're excited and brand new in the business, is to schedule a launch party for your business. This can be done in your home. If I'm close to you, which obviously if you're watching this video I may not be, I could come and help you in your home. But if I'm not, you can use books to get your business started, book parties, but having something in your home or in a restaurant or something like that and inviting all your friends and family to come and support you in your new business is a great way to start. It can help you to get some bookings off the bat and just set up some selling appointments, but also to just sell a good amount of product right off the bat. So I would highly recommend that, but what I've sometimes found is that consultants get so wrapped up in planning for that launch party that they don't do anything else. And, the launch party is just one thing to get your business started. If you've set that up, you're going to have friends and girlfriends that say, I can't come to the launch party. I would love to help you, but I can't come. So begin setting up other selling appointments along the way. Don't just bank it all on that one party. Go ahead and, start plugging other parties and appointments into your calendar. Be looking for vendor events, and that could be a whole other training about vendor events, but just be watching for other opportunities to set up appointments on your books. And if you do that launch party and somebody can't make it, just turn that into a selling appointment if you can. So, but appointments are going to be your number one best way to make money in the business, and I have made very good money in this business by doing lots of selling appointments. So, can't stress that enough. When you do have a party or an event, any type of event where you're going to be in front of people, one thing you want to do is have hostess packets. And I have an example here. There are Just Jewelry folders that you can get. I just get really cheap 2-pocket folders at Walmart, super simple. And in the folders, it's totally up to you how many catalogs you want to give people. I tend to not go overboard because occasionally you'll do one of these packets and it disappears and the person just decides not to do it or whatever. So over on one side I've got some catalogs, and I usually try to put one of each. I've got a closeout. I have the current catalog. If all you're doing is one type of catalog, you might want to put 2 of the current catalogs. I've got some of the past ones as well in here. I've got a fall and winter from the winter before and a spring and summer. I've got my business card on here somewhere. It can be stapled in or tucked inside. Over on the other side, I have a sheet that I've found on the Just Jewelry website, and I actually go through and write in some different things and then make copies of it. So like I've got my personal information, phone number, email at the top. I've got my website. I also just write little notes to help them be successful with their party. Like this one is for a book party, and I have down on here, and this is just something that I have picked up from my daughter, but it says if your show totals over $500, you will get 15% free instead of 10%, and that's just with book parties that we do that. So if you're interested in that, and then I just kind of like circle things or underline things that I think are important. I personally don't put order forms in my packets because I've found that people don't fill them out right, or I end up people don't use them and then they're wasted. So I just ask them to write it down on a piece of paper and I fill out the order form. Sometimes they text or message me the orders, and then I message them back with the totals. Sometimes they just, once the book party is over, they give me all of the orders all at once over the phone or by email, and then I write up all the tickets. So I don't have any waste that way. But I do include a sample ticket that I've written up, and I've written some things out on the side, and I include that in there so that they know how to do sales tax. And I also put a note on here about make sure people know about this special, and I have with a $50 purchase, they can get any additional item for half price. That's something I do that you might want to consider. I do that at all my parties all the time. So, and I also put a note on here that I will write up tickets when we close. You can just write them on a piece of paper and get totals with this example. So that's just an idea that you can try. And I always, always, always put something in here about recruiting. something about looking for a way to earn some extra money, something about the price of the kit. I shrunk these down to 4 on a sheet. If anybody wants that, just let me know and I will send them a copy. So that's a book party hostess packet. I also, when I am at a party, I should back up just a little bit. One of the things that can make your party successful is to do really good mail-in invitations. You can use postcards that you can get through the company, but to make them special, make them stand out, will make your party even more successful. So I like to do theme parties, and like I said, that could be a whole other training, but I do things like wine and cheese or Mexican fiesta. I've done spring flings. I've done ice cream socials. Just something to make it fun. And I plan to make up a little booklet of different ideas so that when I'm at events or at parties that people can look through and get ideas for a type of party they might like to have. You can also just do the basic open house, but even with an open house, I've done open houses that are like a wine and cheese or ice cream social, and that just kind of adds a little twist. So I make up just some little invitations, use some pictures off Google Images, and I actually have some examples on our Faithful Fashionistas website that I created. If you don't know about that, it's faithful-fashionistas.com. The password is just, well, the username is just with lowercase, and the password is jewelry. And on that website there is a whole section of documents, or there is a link of documents, and I put a lot of the things I'm talking about on there, and if I'm missing anything, just let me know. I can slip something on there, but there is a sample invitation. This is also an on-time drawing coupon, and I stick 3 of these inside an invitation, and I get these little colored envelopes at Walmart to put them in. But it says, Friends Night Out Party, on-time drawing. I've included 2 extra coupons for your 2 closest friends. Who needs a night out? These work really nicely. Women tend to bring a friend with them, and my parties have been, much bigger since I've started using those nice invitations and the on-time drawing coupons. So, but when I am at a party, one of the, dropped some of my stuff, hang on. But when I'm at a party, I like to share the business opportunity at some point. And so one way that I've done that, it doesn't always work out as well in an open house format, is I have this gift bag. It can say why, it can say nothing. If you want, you can say opportunity gift. But inside the bag are just things that I can use to share about the business. So I usually have a roll of tickets. Like I said, at an open house, I do it a little bit differently, but at a party, I tend to give tickets for different things, and when I get to a point, I say, okay, we're going to have a commercial, and I pull out the opportunity bag, and I say, okay, I'm going to share some things with you about why I do the Just Jewelry business, and then when I'm done, if you have any questions for me, I'm going to give each person a ticket for every question they ask. So I just pull out different things out of the bag. I have a real simple magazine in here and talk about how the business isn't hard. It's very simple. Women love jewelry. I have some prizes in here that I've won. This was a beach sarong that I won towards going on the cruise. You don't have to have won prizes yet. You can just come up with reasons why you do the business and include them. But I have a little car in here because we do have a car bonus that you can achieve, and that's a great thing to strive for. I've got another little prize, a little necklace. Oh, and there's my starfish ring that I earned toward the trip for next year. So I just forgot about that I'm wearing it. I also have a piece of jewelry in here because it is great to be able to get your jewelry at a discount. So I always tell people that's one of the reasons why I did this business, was that I could get my jewelry at a discount. And I've also gotten free jewelry before too, so that's awesome. I have a book in here called Sister Chicks on the Loose, just a fun book that I found. And it is one of the things I use to illustrate how I love getting with other women. All the relationships I've made is amazing. And then with my team building, that I get to help other women to start and create their own successful businesses, which is super rewarding. I have a dollar bill, which is just my way of saying that I enjoy making fun money, that my family and I like to take trips, and my Just Jewelry money kind of goes towards that and other things. So here's a picture of the cruise. So even if you haven't earned it, you can maybe that's an aspiration you have, something to work for. I also kind of enjoy incentives, so I have some notes here from Virginia and Nicole, the founders of our company, and that I share and just say it's really fun to get recognized for the things that you do. And then women can ask questions, and I give them tickets. And at the end of the party, I use these guest care cards. And what I do is they're cut. It's just a quarter sheet when you cut these apart. But I tell the ladies, okay, you have one more chance to earn tickets. Or if I'm doing an open house, I might say, okay, I'm going to do a drawing from these guest care cards. So if you fill this out, you're going to get drawn to win a prize, or you're going to get a ticket towards our last prize. But before I pass them out, I just kind of go over and explain. I say, okay, if you'll fill out the top for me, and then I have 3 questions here. So I explain those questions. The first one says, how interested are you in the following? Hosting a friend's night out. You will receive free jewelry and a lot of fun. And that's when I tell them all the different types of parties that I do. And I can do book parties, I can do home parties, theme parties, or open house. I do fundraisers, and I think I said porta party, and I hope I don't forget to show you that. I have that bag to show you on the floor too. But then I say, okay, and there's a scale of 9 to 10, or 1 to 10 here, sorry. And if I see that you've marked a 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to know you're not interested, and that is totally okay. But if you're marking somewhere in the 4 to 7 range, then you'd like to have a little more information before you go home tonight, I'll give you some more information. And then if you mark 8, 9, or 10, then I'm going to know you're very interested, and maybe we can even set a date tonight and figure out what type of party you'd like to have. The next one is learn more about our incredible business opportunity. If you're curious and you'd just like me to send you home a special little gift tonight with some information, mark there in the middle. If you think you might really love this and are ready to get started, then 8, 9, or 10 is where you mark. And then the invitation to my exclusive VIP event, and I just tell them, a couple of times a year I do something special in my home. It's just for special people that really want to be a part, or my past hostesses. And I do sales. I make it really fun. I have a fun theme with lots of good food. So if you want to be a part of that, indicate that there. And then I use that to do my drawing. I also use these at vendor events too. As people come up to the booth, I may give away a bracelet or a $25 gift card or whatever, depending on the event. And I use these as people come up, and it's a great way to get emails. And just to get an indication of people's interest. The thing is, people will not say, I'm interested in this business, or I want to have a party, but they'll mark it on here. I don't know why. But then, as I glance at it at the end of a party or at an event, and I see that somebody's marked high, then I could say, oh, did you marked here that you might like some more information, or I see that you're really interested. What can I share with you? Or and if I send something home with them, then I ask them if I can get back with them about it in the next day or so. And so what I send home, if somebody's interested in the business, I call it an opportunity gift. And typically I've had them in a gift bag, but I just ran out of gift bags, so I'd put some in a folder. But it doesn't matter. Folder's really a cheaper way to do it, so that is totally okay. But I just put any piece of recruiting equipment I could find on the website, and I just make copies of it. And I don't always do these color copies. I've got black and white copies sometimes too. But I've got a picture of the kit. I've got something in here about the Jump Start. Something about, how our new sign-on system works. I've got a Ladder of Dreams chart in here. You don't have to have all of this. These are just some ideas. I've got something in here about the cruise. And then I do at least one catalog. And then I put some type of a little gift. This one has a little thing of chai, and it has my business card in the back. I've done little hand creams. It's not a must that you do that. It's just kind of a nice little touch. I use these, like I said, at parties and events I give them out, or I've met people at Panera Bread or Starbucks or whatever to share with them and do a personal interview. So that's a way to share the business opportunity. I'm kind of skipping back, but one of the things that I do, or one of the types of parties, is a porta party, and we just kind of came up with that name. You could call it a bag party or a box party. Doesn't have to be in a 31 bag like this. You can do it any way you want. Just, you save money and find economical ways, but with this bag, I put some business cards and some pins. It doesn't look as cute right now because have one prepared at the moment, but these have been really great. I've used them quite a bit. I try to use them with people I know and can trust. But I tie a scarf on it to make it look pretty. We have scarves that we sell. I put in catalogs, and you can put different catalogs. I use these organza bags, and I put the jewelry down in the bags. But I found that I think it's kind of hard when they take it to an office and they've got to open up all these bags and lay everything out. So something that I did was I took these little flags, like little postie flags, and I just put them in the catalog and mark the things in the catalog that are in the bag. So if they're browsing through the catalog, then they can see which things they're going to find in the bag if they look. And so the things that are in the bag, they can buy right out of the bag, just as if they were at a party buying off the table. Of course, you do have to have some inventory to do this, but it is one option if you do have a good inventory. I put some sacks in here and some tissue paper, and I go ahead and put order forms so that the hostess can write them up, since she's going to maybe be giving them product right away. Let's see, I always put some recruiting information in there. Oh, and also I give a contract to the person that's doing the porta party, and I do have copies of that I would share with you if you were ready to do one. And I just put I personally try to put all the jewelry that's in the catalog, and then I have a special way. I just kind of drag over the prices of the items that are in the bag in a separate column. So then there's a total automatically from that column that totals how much jewelry is in the bag, and then at the top of the contract it tells them how much they're responsible for when they have the bag. So and that they need to be responsible to return it. Okay, so book parties, I discussed that a little bit, porta parties, open house. The company does a lot of training on how to do just a basic open house. Vendor events, you can find those through Facebook pages. You might search vendor events and maybe your city, if you're St. Louis or Columbia or where you are. Look for Facebook events. Those are great ways to find vendor events. You might also call Chamber of Commerce in your area, or talk to other direct sales companies. If you know somebody that sells Scentsy or 31 or another, people that are active in their businesses, they've been out there already, and I'm sure we'll be able to share with you things that are going on in the area. But then do your research before you just sign up for events. You want to pay reasonable fees. And you want to make sure these are well-established events. Sometimes first-year events, you might be a little cautious, but you also want to make sure that they're events that draw people for other reasons. Just vendor events alone aren't always the most or the greatest events, but events that draw people for festivals or other things tend to bring a bigger crowd. There's a lot I could tell you about vendor events, about making your booth stand out, about greeting people with a smile and being really excited. Those are all great things. There's also a document on the Just Jewelry portal about kind of researching and making sure that it's a good vendor event. So you might want to search that out if you want to know more about that. Salons. Sometimes people don't realize that we can sell just jewelry in a salon or a boutique. So if you have a friend or your personal salon or owner, you could talk to them and ask if you can set it up in there and do a percentage to them and a percentage to you. Or they may just be interested in signing up and being a consultant, and then they can get the products at a 50% discount to display and sell in their salon or boutique. So there are just lots and lots of ways that you can display. The company is very flexible, so you can be very creative about how you sell your product. I would recommend always leave catalogs in your purse. I know it takes a big purse, but I carry at least one catalog with me, and I keep them in my car. You might even want to keep a hostess packet in your car. I have the decal on the back of my car that has my information. I've even had people come up and knock on my window and ask me for a catalog, and you'll be pretty sick if you don't have one. So always keep business cards in your purse too. You just never know. If you're out and about and you're somewhere where there's a lot of women, offer them a catalog. If you're at the dentist office, the tanning salon, any place that you can leave a catalog, and you might leave something stapled to it, but always make sure it has your information on the back. There is just so much I could share with you, and I know I probably haven't covered everything. I know I haven't. There's no way. But hopefully I've touched on some of the basics that will help you um, to get off to a great start. And just feel free to call me anytime, text, email. I really want your business to be successful, and I will do whatever I can to help you with that. So just go out there and touch other women's lives and be faithful with your business.